that normally break down a corpse. I would place a sizable wager on this being a long-term conundrum.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Now, let's take another look at that angle.
After he was certain that I'd be all right, Charlie gave me a small bottle of pills for my pain, and we went our separate ways. I had more interviews to find, and he said that he had taken an oath to help, and that's what he was going to do. I haven't seen him since, but his story never fails to remind of just how tragic all of this really was. So, if you hear about a scraggly doctor wandering the countryside and handing out pills like a bearded Pez dispenser, tell him Double D says hello.
Cool.
And thank you. And if you happen to hear that he didn't make it or stumble upon something worse, keep that shit to yourself. I couldn't take it.
Nice.
If you've ever been out there alone, you probably learned that traveling has changed quite a bit since the outbreak. Most of the roads are impassable, and you spend more time ducking the undead or scouting out the living than you do actually chalking up the miles. Well, there's a bunch of people out there putting more miles in one day than most of us could in a week. I call them the Caravan. Because while they didn't have an official name for their group, that's essentially what they were. A group of mobile survivors following this monster big rig slowly down the highway. Equipped with a cattle catcher from an old train and a solid, well, it had solid, albeit mostly bald, tires. The lead truck cleared the roads of cars and zombies with equal ease, while the follow-up vehicles put down anything that was too close for good. Now, I was lucky enough to not only stumble across them and trade a few things, but to ride with them for a few days and get to know them a little bit. Now, the lead driver, the owner of the Monster Express, as he called it, was a surprisingly happy, easygoing guy named Hayshaker, who agreed to an interview as he drove, because, as I learned, the Caravan never stops for long.
You okay over there?
Yeah, thanks. I just, wow, it's bigger than here than I would have thought.
Oh, this is my baby. Custom sleeper, 191 inches. Hell, I even got a microwave back there.
She's beautiful.
Oh, no, not like she used to be, but hey, I don't have to pay on her anymore, right?
Well, thank you for doing this. I know that you're busy.
Oh, driving slow like this, sleeping most of the time, only wake up for turns.
Are you ready to get started?
Sure. What do we do?
Okay, just answer any questions that you want to answer.
That it?
That's it.
All right, shoot.
Please state your name and age for the record.
I'm 44, I guess. The name's Donald Michael Fredericks Jr., but if you got your ears on him, Hayshaker.
Hayshaker?
Well, technically, I'm Hayshaker Jr. My daddy was Hayshaker, but since he's passing all, I leave the junior part out. He got the name, because back in the day, he used to drive a big old hay wagon. He made it shake every night he could. Come on back.
So, Hayshaker, where were you when all of this started?
You mean this zombie stuff?
Yeah.
Hey, funny story, actually, I nearly slipped through it.
You nearly slept through it?
Yep. See, when all of this really started, I was back there.
In your bed?
Yep. And the sleeper had me one of those stomach bugs, not like the sickness folks get now right before they turn. But it was pretty bad. Don't know if it was a cold or just a bad meal, but I had a case of the shit, something fierce. I said the shit.
Yeah, although I might have to bleep it out when I play it for my church group.
Oh, okay, I'll try not to say it. Anyways, I was laid up for like 2 days, stomach cramps and the shit, making a whole bunch. Finally, I just like fell asleep in the bunk and prayed for death. Oh, this is just a joke back there.
You're fine, go on.
Well, I had the squawk box off because folks get ratchet on, and the last thing you want to hear when you're holding your pooper shut and fighting off cramps is a bunch of idiots hollering at you, so I had no real idea what was going on outside my own truck. And a while later, I'm feeling better, sipping water from the fridge and thinking about getting up when someone starts pounding on my door, making a real racket of it, too. And I figured it was just one of them lot lizards, you know, trying to get in, so I got up to chase her off. I don't play with lot lizards. I mean, I ain't no good buddy or nothing. I just don't fiddle with them. You're churchy.
Lot lizards?
Anyway, I crawl up into the cab, look down. And it ain't busy. It's this fat fella just stumbling around, and I figured he was drunk and trying to get into the wrong cab, so I jumped down. That's when I saw
He didn't have no face. I mean, whooped on, no face. Well, I let out a yell that would curl your hair and jump back, which was stupid. Because that brought all of them running. Before I knew it, I was pretty near surrounded. What did you do? Well, I reached out and I kicked on No Face right in the knee. I didn't know about no living dead or zombies back then. It was just a reaction. And luckily, he was a big fella with just one leg, and he went all wallowly and tipped right over. And I jumped back up into the cab, and I just sat there looking out at the truck stop. It was like a sea of people. Except they weren't people no more. Zombies. So you were trapped? Oh, like hell I was. I got me a big old Cummins diesel, and while she didn't have no cattle catcher back then, she was still strong enough to get me back on the road. So you just... I drove. That's all I know. That's all I did. I put the hammer down, and away I went. It was slow at first, but then ain't people no more. Hell, they didn't even try to get out of the way. I just punched my way out the lot and kept driving. Wasn't fast though. I mean, I think I was.
This one got 10.
I was
audio down
pulling
from
now. Back then I had the wiggle wagon, and every bump felt like I was.
So if anyone that watches this,
wiggle wagon?
please go.
I had to test it down the roadway.
And you'll see where the audio comes from.
Once I saw how bad everything really was, and heard the chatter on the radio, I figured that I didn't need to deliver the load no more.
Stuck
it out though.
He does some absolutely amazing content. Sammy Scott over Town.
Would have come in handy in hindsight. So, what about them? The rest of your caravan?
Out of
Oh, you mean my big old convoy?
That I have to work with.
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, every time I'd stop to fuel up, or look for something, there'd be some fella in a van or a bunch of folks in a bus. They'd ask if they could ride along. I couldn't say no. Safety numbers, right? Besides, company felt good. Radio had been dead for a while. Yeah, I said, yeah. And they never tell you this, but it's just pretty good. So before I knew it, my one or two followers turned into a convoy with me to lead. So you're the leader then? Well, not like no boss or nothing. Folks look to me because I know the roads, you know, and I can fix pretty near anything with wheels. I don't make no big decisions. I just drive, and sometimes folks follow. What do you miss? From the old days? Yeah. Oh, not a lot really. It's mostly the same for me. I drive, talk to folks, hell. Big Reg back there keeps the food diner quality. For me, nothing's really changed all that much. You have to miss something. Well, yeah, I did. What is it? Oh, it's kind of stupid. Try me. You won't laugh? I won't laugh. Okay. Well, burritos. Hey, you said you weren't gonna lay up. Burritos? Not the real ones. Reg can make, still kind of make those. But I mean the frozen kind. The kind you get in the truck stop at 2 in the morning when there was no one around but other drivers. The kind you had to microwave forever, and they'd still be frozen. So you'd stand around jawing with the other guys and swapping stories and trading handles. That's what I miss. Yeah, I miss that too. Yeah. Hey, we done here? It looks like we got something big up ahead. We might have to stop. Yeah, we're good. Thank you for this, Hey Shake. Yep.
Riding with the caravan for a few days, I got to witness how they operated. There was never any fighting or bickering, and everyone had their role. The thing that made them valuable to the group. I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't tempted to stay with them. It was, it was good for my heart to see social functionality again. People getting along, doing a job, and helping each other out. One of the more surprising interviews that came, it was a woman in her mid-20s that everyone called Mama. Now, I thought that it was odd that she'd have such a nickname, especially since there were women that were, well, older and more matronly than her around, so I asked her about it. And I've regretted it ever since.
Thank you for agreeing to do this. This is tape 17 interview with Krista Phillips, age 26.
Mama. Everyone here calls me Mama.
Why is that?
I watch after the kids.
Just you?
No, there are others, but I'm the one that the kids call Mama. Sophie, a little blonde girl that used to ride with us, started it, and all the other kids just fixed it up.
Kind of sweet. Do you like it?
Keep a secret?
Well, not really these recordings.
I fucking hate it.
Why?
Because most of these kids have lost their parents. They've lost their
And
real
I'm dead.
mothers and fathers, and because
Fuck my
I'm
life.
there taking care of them, they imprint on me, like they're stuck. I'm not their mama, and it kills me every single time that they say it. It's funny, you'd think that you'd get used to it,
Don't
and
come
it would
back
hurt
and find
less.
that motherfucker.
I swear to God, it hurts more and more every time.
Then why not have them call you something else?
You know what I was before all of this started?
No, that's kind of the purpose of these things.
I was a housewife. Living in suburban Springfield. I had a nice house, a successful husband with a good job. And we
God
just got
damn it.
married and were ready to settle down. It was the kind of perfect life that you only read about in magazines or see on sitcoms. I did it all. Mary Kay, Avon, even those candle wax parties with those little fermented pads that melt and don't actually burn. That was my life, and I loved it.
It sounds like it was lovely.
It really was. We lived in this pretty little house at the end of a cul-de-sac on Pine Haven Road. Pine Haven. It seems silly now, but back then it felt like I was saying Beverly Hills. When the plague or whatever they're calling it really hit, my husband Teddy and I shouldn't have stood a chance. I'm not even sure how we got out of there alive. I remember my neighbor Sarah bouncing up and over the hood of our BMW. Sarah, who bought more Avon than any one woman could use, the same Sarah who still had my good cake pans, dead and trying to make me the same way.
It wasn't your friend anymore. You know that, right?
Still didn't make it right. Teddy and I spent the next few days just trying to survive. During the day, we'd park and hide somewhere. Abandoned hotels, the back of a delivery truck, any place we could be quiet and feel safe. At night, we'd drive. Slowly, no headlights, we'd just strive. Every once in a while, we'd hit something or someone, and we'd just keep going. We weren't sure where we were going, we just knew that someplace had to be safe. Someplace had to be better than this. One morning, right at dawn, we decided to break into this corner drugstore. It had grates on the windows, a barred door, and as far as we could tell, it was empty on the inside.
Was it empty?
Yeah, but it was harder to get into than we thought it would be. Without tools, a locked door stops the living just as well as it stops the dead. But Teddy wouldn't be dissuaded. He was positive that there would be food and supplies in there, so we kept trying to get in. He was using the tire wrench from the car, this cheap little thing to bend way too easily, and we were almost in when a zombie comes staggering around the corner and grabs me right by the back of the head. I thought I was dead. Teddy let out this deep-throated scream and tackled it. He pulled it right off me. Teddy wasn't a huge guy, and to be honest, he was a bit softer than most. He was a computer programmer. They're not known for their physical strength. Right then, he was Hercules. They rolled around for a second until Teddy got on top of it, and using the tire iron, he caved in its head just over and over again until it stopped moving. I'd never seen him like that.
Fear is a powerful motivator.
So was getting bit. I didn't know it at first, but when Teddy was wrestling with that thing, it bit him. Not bad, not even really a bite. It just pinched him, barely even breaking the skin, but it was enough. We got inside and barred the door behind us, and then we cried. I'm not sure why. It might have been fear, elation at getting away, or just adrenaline. We just sat there, leaning up against the door, holding each other and crying.
Was he infected?
Yeah. I mean, we cleaned the wound with rubbing alcohol and bandaged it good, but about an hour later, the fever set in.
I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen someone go from healthy to infected? Have you ever watched as they get sick and die?
Yeah.
Sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When Teddy died, I didn't know what I'd do. I knew that I wouldn't have the strength to keep him from becoming one of those things. I knew that I didn't have it in me to do what the news said we had to do.
So what did you do?
I dragged him outside and closed the door behind me.
Did you change?
I could hear him on the other side of the door, moaning, getting up, shuffling around.
What did you do?
I got drunk, that's what I did. Blind, stinking drunk. The drugstore had a cooler, and although everything was piss warm, I drank until I felt like I was going to throw up. Then I walked to the pharmacy, got a handful of pills from behind the counter, and I ended it.
You tried to kill yourself?
No, not me. I took a handful of those Plan B pills. I guess it could have killed me too, but at that moment I didn't care.
You were pregnant?
3 months. Like I said, I was in suburban heaven. But now that hell was walking the earth, I wasn't going to bring a child into this world. Not alone. Not when it could end up.
I am so...
That's when they found me. The caravan. Bleeding to death from a miscarriage, stupid, drunk, and barely conscious in a corner drugstore. They cleaned me up, they took care of me, and they gave me a reason to keep going. So, now I'm mama to them all, no matter how badly it hurt me. Because they deserve a mama, and I deserve to remember what I did.
You did what you thought was...
Look, I'm sorry, I think we're done. I have to get back to the kids.
Of course, look, I just... Thank you. Honestly, thank you for this, Krista.
Mama, always mama.
Thank you, Mama.
I ran into the caravan about 3 months ago. A long line of trucks, cars, vans, and buses. They seemed to exist in a form of modern-day wagon train, always on the move, never standing still. They say that they're looking for a place to safely call home, or at least a place where the dead don't walk the very roads they travel. Out of the 3 people who agreed to be interviewed from that group, Big Reg has to be my favorite. A smile as large as his heart. He's one of the few people that I've seen that seems to have honestly adapted to this hell that we all struggle with.
If you would please state your name and age for the record.
Yeah.
Anytime you're ready.
My name is Reginald Harvey Williams, and I'm 37. Most folks just call me Big Red, though.
Explain, please, how you got that nickname.
On account I'm so small.
So people they're not going to be able to see this. So could you describe?
Well, folks have always picked on me about my size ever since I was, well, even littler than I am now. Well, I never really let it bother me much. Good things come in small packages is what my mom always said. Size ain't nothing but perception. And I've known men twice my size that are smaller than me. I got one of them big personalities, I guess.
So they call you Big Reg because you're small?
No. Tell you what happened. Back when it all started getting rough, right before everything went right to hell, but you could see that it was going that way fast. I was working as a night cook at this little truck stop right outside Bellefontaine, that's in Ohio. Anyway, it was getting pretty grim out there, and the diner was pretty near empty. And one of the other cooks, a tall, skinny kid named Terry, me and him got on pretty well. He liked to pull a prank on me, and like little things, like put my apron up on the top shelf, or wait until I went into the storeroom to kick out the dough stop. see, the storeroom was where we kept most of the dry goods, and bottled soda and whatnot, and we used to use it as a break room when we cooked. And there was a little table, radio, and someone even brought in one of those little black and white TVs. Well, the only thing was, the storeroom door was big, busted, and didn't open from the inside. So if you was in there and someone else came along and kicked out the little chewed up hunk of wood we used to prop it open, you were pretty much stuck in there until they decided to let you out.
I think I see where this is going.
So it was a slow night. Like I said, things had been getting pretty bad, and we was just hearing about the worst of it, and I didn't know what to think. I mean, dead coming back alive, chewing up on people. We didn't know if it was a joke or serious or what, but I promise you this, we was all scared. So anyways, I had to go into the storeroom for something. I don't rightly remember what now, and I guess it ain't important. And Terry, well, he was kind of scared and noticed that the moon was getting low. Terry hated that. He'd do anything to make folks laugh. So when I went in, he snuck over. Before I could turn around, he kicks out the little nubbly of wood. Oh, Man, so. I mean, I liked the guy, but things was tense, and I wasn't in a mood to play his little begging game to let me out of the storeroom. So I'm cussing and banging on the door, and I can hear him on the other side just laughing, and that made me madder, so I pounded harder. It was just me. Terry laughed even more. Oh, but then I heard it. Oh, through the door, I heard it. Terry heard it too, because his laughing just stopped.
What happened?
Well, as far as I can tell, big herd of those dead folk came flooding in a diner. And there was moaning and screaming and the sound of breaking glass. And I pounded harder to be let out, but nobody came. Then I heard the old 30-06 we kept in the back go off. And then nothing. It just got real quiet. I listened at the door for a few minutes. And then knocked real soft. Called out to Tip.
Answer?
I won't know. Whatever's on the other side of that door wasn't alive no more, and it wasn't alone. It clawed and scraped and pounded on the door when I was quiet. I was joint quiet. After about an hour, pounding and clawing stopped, but I could hear them out there, shuffling around, and every once in a while, one of them would bump into something, a glass break, or dish shatter. They'll get all worked up again, but I stayed quiet.
How long was it?
Well, I don't want you to think that I suffered none. I mean, I had all the food I could eat, and all the water and booze I could drink, and TV and radio for company. Not that they lasted long. Power went out about a weekend and never came back on. About 2 weeks in, my eyes so adjusted to dark, I could almost read the labels on the foods.
You sat alone in the dark.
3 weeks, give or take.
3 weeks.
I woke up one night about 9 p.m. I knew it was 9 because my watch didn't work, and I could see by the glowing hands. Well, there was a new sound outside my door. It was getting loud. Someone was trying to get in. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if them big folks had figured out how to use a doorknob, or if they were finally chewing their way in. All I knew was I wasn't going down without no fight. I grabbed 2 biggest cast iron pans we had, and I crouched by the door. And when it opened...
Zombies can't open doors.
No, they can't. But hey, you see that big fella over there, the one with all the muscles and those barbed wire tattoo? He can.
The caravan found you.
They were stopping and checking every place they could for supplies. By then, zombies had all cleared out or wandered off, so it was pretty safe. He opened that door. And I jumped out screaming like a demon and swinging my pants at his big melon head.
What happened?
Well, I caught him right above the ear with one, running his bill good. But Mikey's a big guy, and he kicked me right in the chest, threw me back in the room, and... he locked me back in the damn storeroom. So like I say, I clocked him good, so he goes, he helped him back to the group. And they're all up in arm, and I guess because it was dark, he just assumed that I was too, so he tell them all that there's this 7-foot-tall giant madman back there screaming and throwing pans. Me, 7 foot tall. Well, they got all up in arms, and then they come back, and they screaming over and telling me to stand down, and when they opened the door, they don't see no giant man, they seen me, all 5 foot, 120 pound of me, huffing and puffing in the dark and squeaking against the light like they ain't never let Mikey live it down. Ain't that right, Mikey? The nickname stuck, and I've been riding with a caravan ever since. I figure since I was a good cook, they didn't have no one who knew their way around food, I owed them one. They good people, one and all.
Did you ever see Terry again?
Yeah. A couple days later. I saw him. It wasn't Terry no more. He was with a big group of them. Probably the same group that came that night.
What did you do?
Well, we let him be. You know, I figured...
Objective
let him be. If it wasn't for him, I'd be right out there beside him, so... I let him be.
While not everyone is dealing well with the aftermath of the fall of civilization as we know it, some people, and you're not going to believe this, were ready for the undead. Me, I can't even fathom how you could live a normal life waiting for something like this. While traveling through Chattahoochee National Forest, I stopped for water at a stream, and I noticed a fence about 100 yards from the road. After walking over, I discovered that trust doesn't come easy in this new world.
Hey guys, I don't want any trouble. Can you can put down the guns? I'm just a traveler. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What? Can I come closer to the fence so that I can hear you better? I'm putting down my things, okay?
You're putting down your weapons? What the hell is the matter with you, boy? I see folks come through here and be wearing your skin like a suit. You believe this, Earl?
Could you tell me your name?
How about you tell me yours, and I don't have Earl put a 5.56 millimeter round through your head.
David. My name is David. Dave. But my friends call me Double D. But it's a... I'm trying to look really non-threatening, I promise.
Well, you're doing a piss-poor job of it, son. Commander Dale Edwards, leader of the 23rd Georgia Militia.
23rd Militia? Is that a military organization?
Is that a camera? Son, where are you from? We're the last remnants of God-fearing patriots in these here United States.
How have you managed to stay here without being overrun?
Your fence seems to be keeping you out.
Fair point, but I'm also not a zombie.
Let's make something real clear here, Double D. Your entire existence at this point is based on my good graces. I got 2 marksmen in those towers with a clear shot that you'd be more than happy to make a corpse out of you, one that don't stand back up. Clear.
And thank you for not shooting me. Can I ask you guys, how were you able to prepare for everything that happened?
Only a damn fool wouldn't have been ready for this. What other signs that you need? Everyone started ranting and raving about the medical company. It's curing folks.
Karama Pharmaceuticals?
Yep, that's it. Society has been breaking down for decades. Dependence on cell phones and chemicals in our food. People have been ignoring it, getting lazy. Too much time on the internet. We decided to be ready when it came. We started building and stockpiling supplies. Housing, fresh water, medical supplies, generators. Hell, Earl here has the whole Dukes of Hazzard series on DVD. The good one, too, Blu-ray.
So, you're safe here, but aren't you worried that you'll be attacked?
I think anyone getting within 25 meters of my perimeter needs to go now. My mama didn't raise me to be rude, but I think you've worn out your welcome. Go on now. Don't let me see you snooping around here again, because if I do, let's just say that our cameras take pictures a whole lot better. Permanent kind. Understood?
Thank you.
Over the last few months, I've seen the best in humanity, and I've seen the worst. I've heard stories that have inspired me and lifted my spirits, and I've witnessed things that will haunt my dreams and stays. One of the most heartbreaking encounters I can remember happened by chance. I was traveling just outside of Fort Madison, Iowa, when the skies suddenly opened, drenching me in a torrential downpour. For the second, I forgot about the world around me as I ran for shelter. There was no worry of a zombie attack or fear of other survivors, just a cold, instinctual need to get out of the soaking rain. Forcing my way into what I thought was an abandoned fast food restaurant, I was so happy to get out of the storm that I didn't notice the loaded pistol aimed at my head until its owner cocked back the hammer. It was a girl. I guessed about 16. She ordered me back outside, motioning to the doorway with the gun. It took me a few minutes of persuading and, well, a few candy bars from my supplies to convince her that I wasn't a threat, and to let me stay at least until the rain passed.
Yeah, copy that.
You can just talk into the recorder.
This is stupid.
A deal's a deal.
You better not be lying.
I'm not. 2 more candy bars for your story. That's the deal.
I don't know what to say.
Just say your name and where you're from.
T.
Is that short for something? I'll drive. Where are your parents?
Dead.
How long have you been on your own?
Does anyone need this?
Look, I don't want to do this, okay?
Talk to me.
Talk to anyone.
Why?
Because you're all monsters.
What do you mean?
I mean, zombies want to hurt you? kill you. Sometimes people want the same thing. Safer to just avoid everyone, living or dead. If I had it my way, I wouldn't have to deal with any of you.
Have you had to deal with zombies?
When I have to, yeah. Most of the time, I just avoid them. Stay low, stay quiet, and if it gets too bad, flat out run.
What about people? Have you ever killed?
I can't even tell the difference anymore. Really, you're all the same. I avoid you, and if you keep coming after me, I make sure you stop. It used to bother me. I mean, back when it first started, I remember the first time I had to stop someone. I cried so hard I threw up.
Shit! Person or a zombie?
It doesn't bother me anymore. It used to, but it doesn't. Not anymore.
When is the last time that you spoke with another living person?
A while, I guess. Mostly it happens like this. Like you. Somebody will show up in some place and I either leave or make them leave. You're lucky it's raining really hard and you look like a wet dog. Or I'd make you leave too.
Well, thank you for letting me stay and agreeing to do this.
If you're lying about the candy, you're gonna be sorry.
I'm not here. I trust you. Don't what?
Don't trust me. Don't trust me. I am.
Well,
This is stupid. I don't want to do this anymore. Can we be done? I want to be done, okay? You just stay on your side, and I'll stay on mine. Please don't make me... Just stay over there, okay?
don't worry.
Done?
One more question.
What?
How old are you?
Why?
For the record. It's for the record.
What month is it?
September, I think.
Oh. I'm 12. I'm still 12.
12 years old and surviving on our own. 12 years old. I'd love to tell you that we traveled together, that I eventually got her to trust me to the point where I learned her name, but the truth is, she was gone before I got up the next morning. I'm not even positive that she stayed through the night. Whatever distrust she had overwhelmed her, and I never saw her again. I'm positive she's still out there, though, that she's still alive, and I just hope that she's finally found someone that isn't a monster. I stumbled across a settlement in Ohio, run by a man named Jack Hodge. While the area itself had been hit hard by the outbreak, a surprisingly large number of people banded together and survived. Most of the town had been recovered and secured, and while it made for an excellent trading post, I found that the stories I pulled from there, well, they were more valuable than anything I could have bartered for.
Please state your name and age for the record, whenever you're ready.
My name is John Colin Hodge, but most people call me Jack. I'm 41.
Thanks for doing this, Jack. Most of your group seems to be avoiding me.
Well, don't take it as personal. We had a bit of bad luck with some bandits a few weeks back. People are still nervous, distrustful.
No badge?
Excuse me?
I heard a woman call you sheriff earlier. I figured that with that and the way that you carried yourself, you used to be a police officer.
I'm whatever they need me to be. If they feel better thinking I'm the sheriff, then that's what I am. People need someone to look up to.
So you weren't a cop?
Can I be honest with you?
Please.
I'm only doing this because I need someone to know the truth. I figured even if it's just some kid with a tape recorder, it should be on record somewhere.
Well, you realize that I plan on broadcasting this, right? So whatever you say has the potential to be heard by anyone listening.
Well, I will deal with that if and when it ever happens. Do you really think that you're going to be able to get a TV or radio station working again? And even if you do, what are the odds that anything you broadcast ever makes it all the way out here? Or for that matter, that we're still even here when and if you do it? I'll take my chances. Besides, I don't hide anymore. That's not me.
Well, when you put it that way.
You asked if I was a cop?
I'm guessing you weren't.
Just the opposite. I was. criminal, just for who or what I was before everything changed. Most people blame their parents or abuse or make up reasons as to why they were really the victim when the truth is they were just bad. That was me. I was a small-time crook and a big-time drunk, and I took what I wanted and when I wanted it, and if someone got in my way, I hurt them.
So what changed?
The world, I guess. I got caught with a stolen car about 2 towns over, a little place called Yellow Springs. Their police station was an old bank that they had converted, so the cells were actually right in the vault. They booked me and weren't about to let me go, so I settled in to do a few days in local lockup before I ended up at one of the larger state places. First day was normal enough, I guess. I got my 3 squares, a private cell, as there wasn't much in the way of crime around there. The sheriff was even nice enough to turn the TV in my direction so that I could watch those idiots trying to sing a song on American Idol. But late that night, though, everything went nuts. The phone started ringing right off the hook. The sheriff answered about 2 dozen calls in the span of a few minutes, and even from my cell, I could hear gunshots outside.
It was the start of the outbreak.
Yeah. I didn't know that then. I just figured that there was some sort of public event and folks got out of hand, some small fair or something like that. That place felt right for that kind of thing.
Did the sheriff come back?
No, not the first day, not the second. You ever been in a jail cell with no one around?
I can't say I have.
Well, I can't explain to you how honestly frightening it is when you're in a cell. You're somebody else's responsibility. They have to watch over you. They got to make sure that you're not getting into trouble. They have to feed you. By the end of the second day, my throat was sore from screaming out for someone, anyone, to come get me. I was hungry, and the only water I had to drink came from, well, get the picture, box cell and all.
But the sheriff did come back.
Oh, yeah. He came back all right. About halfway through day 3, I had found my voice again. Desperation had me screaming like a lunatic and rattling the bars like a pissed-off monkey in a cage. Well, I guess my racket was enough to finally draw someone's attention because the sheriff, or rather, what he had become, heard me.
He was infected?
That was my first time seeing one close up. At first, I thought it was a prank, like one of those hidden camera, scared straight type of shows. I was mad. I just started screaming at him, swearing. As he came closer, I could tell that it wasn't a joke. Then my screaming went from angry to scared out of my goddamn mind. Here was this thing, bloody, dirty, stinking to high heaven, and it was trying to grab me through the bars. Well, those cells aren't that big, but I had plenty of room to pull back out of its reach.
What did you do?
Man to man?
Man to man.
I pissed my pants. I could blame the fact that I was sobering up or that I had been drinking toilet water for 2 days straight, but the truth of the matter was, I was scared. I never felt that before that moment. True, honest to God, fear. I guess I must have passed out because after a bit I feel something tugging at my shoe.
The zombie.
And it was almost on top of me.
But you were locked in the cell.
The funny thing about prison bars, they're only there to stop the living. But the dead? The sheriff had managed to squeeze himself between the bars, head and all. Whatever force it took, reaching and clawing at me, had pushed his head right up and out, so that his eyes had popped to the sides like a big fish. He must have crushed his skull into a million pieces, and once his head was in, the rest of him was slowly following.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Those were my words, too. Exactly. I panicked, and I started kicking like the devil himself were after me, and, well, whatever that thing had done to his head to get in must have made it all soft, because about 3 good kicks and the heel of my shoe caved in the top of its skull like it was a melon, and it stopped moving.
I really don't know what to say.
I just sat there for a few minutes stewing in my own piss, and the stink of what was oozing out of the creature that had just tried to kill me. And the only way that I can describe it is I changed. Right then and there I changed, like God himself had given me a second chance, and I swore on my all that I wasn't going to waste it. I grabbed the keys off the sheriff's belt and I opened the door to my new life.
And now you're the sheriff.
I'm whatever the town needs me to be. If they take solace in calling me sheriff, then I'm sheriff. And if they need a protector, I'm a protector. And if they need a friend, I try to be the best that I possibly can be. But the truth is, I'm more like them than anything else. The zombies, I mean.
How so?
Because the man that I was died that day, and when I came back, I wasn't the same. I don't think I ever will be. And what's more, I don't think that's a bad thing.
The tape ran out at this point, and By the time that I had managed to change it, Jack had been called away to settle a dispute. Still, his story is one of my favorites, and whenever I feel that the world has become too hard or too mean, I stop and I listen to it. If a man like that can become a hero in the face of this horror, then I know in my heart that we can come back from anything. As you heard in the beginning of my interviews with the sheriff, I wasn't getting many bites in the way of interviews at the settlement, and admittedly this is probably my own fault. I was new to the whole asking people to share their most intimate stories with me thing, and my hesitation to approach them might have fueled their hesitation to be approached. And that to the fact that they had been robbed and forced to kill other survivors a few weeks before I showed up. And you can understand, well, why they were less than welcoming of some stupid kid shoving a battered tape recorder into their face. And I was just checking my supplies and getting ready to hit the road when I got my only other interview from the settlement. And boy, am I glad that I stuck around.
Okay, so this is how I've been doing this. Just state your name and your age for the record, and I'll ask you a few questions, and that's it.
That's it?
That's it. You look nervous.
I just... People are going to hate me after this.
Hate you? Why would they hate you?
You want me to just answer? Or do you still want my name and all that?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Let's... Okay. Please state your name and age for the record.
Erin McGuire. I'm 19 years old.
What brought you here today, Aaron?
Some people were saying that you were a reporter and that you were collecting stories for the news or something like that.
Something like that. Do you have a story for me? Aaron?
This is my fault.
Hey. Hey, are you okay? We can stop. Let me just turn this thing off.
No, keep it going. People have to know what I did.
Okay. What did you do?
All of it, this is my fault.
The town, the bandits?
No, all of it. The zombies. I did this.
I don't think this was you, Aaron. How could one person have...
I was always a sick kid. I was allergic to everything. Pollen, cats, dust. I'd get these weird rashes if I sweat too much. I was allergic to my own sweat. My father wasn't around much, and when he was, he'd try to toughen me up. But I couldn't. I wasn't some nerdy kid who didn't want to play outside. I wanted to more than anything. But I'd get out there in the fresh air, and I'd spend the next 2 weeks in bed covered in snot. My mother tried everything. She took me to doctors and specialists, and when they couldn't help, she tried all that weird shit too. Faith healing and herbs. People who called themselves Willow Apple Tree or something, waving smoke around my bed. But nothing worked.
I bet the smoke didn't help, huh?
I threw up on her feet. Right before my 18th birthday, Mom came home early from work, excited, like really excited. At first, I thought that we had won the lottery or something.
Did you?
I wish. No, she was waving this paper around and shoving it in my face, saying that everything was going to be better, that I was going to be better.
What was it?
Some drug company was starting trials in our area, and they were looking for people just like me, you know, sick with allergies and colds and stuff. They had a new medicine that they were testing that was supposed to be the cure for everything. Colds, allergies, the works.
Did you sign up?
Yeah, but I didn't get in right away. You had to be 18 to take part in the study, and I was still a few weeks out. But we signed up anyway. A couple months later, they called, and I thought that my mother was going to have a heart attack.
So you went in?
Yeah.
Did you know what they gave you? The name of the drug or the company sponsoring the testing?
Not really. Everything was pretty secretive, and we had to sign a lot of forms before they even talked to us. It was a test group for some company called Karama. They said that we might not even get the medicine and that we could just end up taking sugar pills for a couple of weeks.
Well, that's how they do most testing, actual test groups and control groups.
I wasn't in the control group.
There's no real way to be sure of that.
Oh, I'm sure. The very next day at home, I was getting something down off a shelf for my mother, and I took a bunch of dust right to the face. Normally, That would have done me in for at least a week. But instead, nothing. I just stood there. No coughing, no wheezing, nothing. The very next day.
That could have been...
So I went outside. I mean, I ran outside, stuck my face right in the grass, and breathed as deep as I could. Nothing. No itching, stuffy nose, just the smell of fresh-cut grass. It smelled amazing.
So you were cured.
Yeah. Everything was just gone. Everything. I threw out my inhaler, stopped taking my antihistamines, and started jogging. Me. Jogging.
That sounds amazing, but I don't understand. How are you responsible for all of this?
A couple of weeks later, I was coming back from a jog, and I felt great. I was sweating and puffing, but in a good, healthy way. I grabbed a bottle of water and stood there in the kitchen catching my breath when I noticed something on the TV. Something to do with medical testing and the company that we had signed up with. They were being investigated, and all trials were being stopped. Whatever they were giving me that was making me healthy was making other people sick.
Sick? How?
I don't know. I started looking online, not because I was worried that I'd get sick, but because I didn't want them to take my pills. I was finally healthy. Nothing I found was helpful. It was all redacted or posted in the comments of some conspiracy theory website, but it all said the same thing.
What did it say?
That Karama was making people sick by making them healthy. That we were spreading something horrible. And then just a few days later, all of this started.
And do you think that you're the cause?
Not just me, but yeah. If what they were saying on the internet was even a little bit true, then all of this is my fault.
Aaron, no one knows what really happened. You don't know that some drug trial was the start of all this. You don't even really know that you got the drug. Have you ever heard of the placebo effect?
Yeah.
Then why do you think that you started this?
Because I haven't been sick since. No one has.
No one has. Oh, Jesus.
I stopped the interview there because Erin was pretty much inconsolable from that point.
I bet.
She started
Wonder
trying
why.
harder and apologizing, and the more that she did, the more I actually started to believe her. I'm not sure how much of what she said was true or how much just the guilty imagination of a scared kid, but looking back on it now, knowing what I know, she was right. I haven't been sick.
I seriously have the Foot Rot Flats theme song stuck in my head now. That da 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 da.
When I first ran into the group of runners, I didn't know what to expect. I'd love to tell you that the world was full of good Samaritans and helpful people.
If anybody knows what that is.
I've seen enough bandits and scumbags
Sorry.
preying on the weak to be that blind. At first appearance, I had assumed that the runners were part of a club or a gang of some sort. They wore leather jackets, gloves, and being comprised of mostly young, tough-looking men.
Throw that in there.
I prepared myself for the worst. But what I found instead inspired me and keeps me on the road to this very day.
Oh, I did that already. No, I didn't. Not that one.
Damn it.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I think it's...
Oh, I'm getting notifications
So
of
that's
my
it,
channel.
I think.
Damn
Could
it.
you please state your name and age for the record?
My name? The guys call me Raton. But the ladies
They call me Doc Steve.
Raton, that's Spanish, right? Rat.
Man, I ain't no rat. It's Raton, man. You know, like a mouse.
Mouse?
Ooh, I can
Because
repair
I'm
the
small,
smoker.
man, but quick. I'm in and out before you never know I was there. You know what I'm saying? Not like no rat, man.
Damn
They're
it.
big and clumsy
Ah,
and
missed
stupid. I'm fast like a mouse. Cute like a mouse. Hey, use that, man.
Ándale,
Anyone
ándale.
asked about
Iba,
Raton,
iba.
You tell them that I look like the actor guy. What's his name? You know, the one that married that chica from Tomb Raider?
Brad Pitt?
Yeah, man, him. Anyone asks. I look like Brad Pitt, man.
I look like Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Just the
how
black
old
version.
are you?
Old enough to get you whatever you need as I can.
like a new one of those, man. Why are you still using that piece of mierda? How does that thing even work? All covered in tape.
Yeah, it's been through hell.
Man, talk to my girl, Tech. She'll hook you up. Good luck with that, man. Just tell her that Raton says to give you whatever you want.
But I don't have anything to trade.
That's right. I got you, man.
No, you
Can't have you doing what you do with that thing breaking all the time, right? How you gonna provide your service?
My service?
That's what you do, right? You talk to people, get their stories and stuff.
I guess, but I'm not sure that I would call it a service.
Man, you don't even know. Look at you, walking around out there alone. For what? So you can tell people how it is. Or get stories, or, you know, get them talking, get their mind off all that it is. That's a service, man. You're one of us. Hey, you're a runner, but like the worst.
A runner? Is that what you are?
Oh, yeah, man. All of us. We're runners, man. That's what we do. You need something,
absolutely.
we run and get it. You need clothes, we get you clothes. You need guns, man, we get you guns. Anything you want. We go in, we get it for you.
Go in?
You know, man, the cities, the big towns and stuff, where the zombies are big, man. Nobody goes to the city anymore. It's too dangerous. Shame too. There's a lot of good stuff still out there, man. Just a lot.
How do people pay you?
Any way they can, man.
And if they can't?
Then they can.
And then you find the next guy who can.
What? Oh, man, no. It ain't like that. We ain't monsters. You can't pay us, but you still get what you need, man. Everybody does.
For free?
For free, man. That's what we do. We provide a service. Look, there ain't a lot of people left, you know. I mean, living people is rough out there, man.
Yeah,
If we can help make it a little easier for you, why wouldn't we? Yeah, people pay us when they can, but it ain't about the pay. It's about, you know, being human.
So it's not about the money.
Money? Man, what good is money? Money don't fill your belly. Money don't keep our trucks running so we can go in and get what people need. No, man. It ain't about the money. If people pay us, it's food or fuel or, you know.
What the fuck happened with that?
Sometimes the ladies are especially thankful.
They did.
I can guess.
We're rock stars in a new world,
Get on
man.
Jordan,
People see us coming and they flip, man. They lose their goddamn minds because they know when we show up, things are going to get a little bit better, a little smoother.
So the cities, are they as bad as everyone says?
Oh, worse, man, worse. Imagine as many zombies as you can. Imagine as many that can fit into your brain, man. Imagine that. And then times it by like 1,000,000. That's the cities.
How do you do it?
Quickly. That's how. We are in and we are out, man. We do not hang around. Bam, we're in. Bam, we toss a couple of babies down the street. Bam, we get what we went in
Toss a
for.
couple
And
of
we
babies down
leave.
the
No
street.
sticking around, man. We don't got it.
Whoa, babies?
Man, you should see your face that day. Oh, Blanco. Man, you are white. Like white.
I'm not sure I understand.
I don't mean real babies, man. I mean, okay, well, we hit up this school, right? Figured it'd be a good place for like books and paper and stuff like that. You'd be surprised how many people want books now that there ain't no TVs or computers or no more. So we hit up this school and we find like babies. Tons of them. You know, the kind that you used to get in like health class to teach you not to have sex or something.
Jesus, okay, yeah, I'm following you now.
Anyways, Trip over there. We call him Trip because he trips over one of these babies and just starts crying. Wow. We don't need that, man. Not when we're like trying to be all discreet and whatnot and get in and get out. So Trip panics. He throws it out the window and 10 seconds later, 20 seconds tops,
Down for that one.
there's like 100 zombies down there on this thing.
Man, there's a lot of background noise
Tearing
here.
at each other, cleaned out the whole school.
Because of the doll?
No, man, because of the way it cried. I don't know what it is. I ain't no science guy or anything, but there's just something about a baby crying that really works them up, gets them going. Took us a while to figure it out, but once we did, Tech beefed them up a bit, made them even louder, and now, when we find a place we want to hit, we just throw a baby a couple of streets away, we wait a minute, go in, everything is just empty, bang.
Amazing.
You want to hear something really mess up?
Yeah.
Okay, like a month ago, we was in this little town, like a settlement, helping out like we do. And they were good people and everything. But do you know what they did? They had babies there, man, like real ones. You don't see that a lot anymore. Anyways, these babies, they were quiet. Like, too quiet. Do you know what they did? They cut their throats, man.
They killed them?
No. They didn't do it to kill him, but they keep him quiet, see? These people, they figured out what we figured out in that school, that zombies go nuts over babies crying. So, they cut their vocal cords so that they couldn't cry. How messed up is that, man? I mean, how are you gonna do that to a baby?
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Oh, that's not even promote. Oh.
I think I got it. I got it.
Hey, man, get out of here with that thing. Go see Tech. She will hook you up. You tell her I said to hook you up.
Thank you for this, Raton.
No, man, thank you. You keep doing your service. We'll do ours. That's the only way the world's gonna get right again, right?
Right. Son of a...
What I'm about to play for you next wasn't intentionally recorded. I was working with a broken handheld at the time, and I had no clue that it had picked up the conversation. Normally, I would never broadcast an interview without the full permission of the subject. In this case, I learned from Raton that Tech, the voice you will hear in the next piece, was killed a short time after this recording was made. The runners were out scavenging when a small group of they took everything they could carry and they left no one alive. I wasn't going to initially play this, but now I feel that I have to. It stands as a commentary of the times that we're in, and it serves as a reminder, no matter how depressing or grim, the zombies aren't the only monsters out there.
Hey!
Hey.
What?
Who are you?
Dave, that phone come and see you?
You the reporter.
Is that what they're calling you?
Yeah, they're big on nicknames here.
I picked up on that.
What did you need?
I don't suppose that you have any digital recorders or batteries laying around?
Wow, you beat someone to death with this thing?
She served me well. Be nice.
I don't have anything that still uses tape, but I got a few recorders. Take what you want. As for batteries, I have some, but you should take this with you. Can't miss it. You have to watch it forever, but it should keep you from running out of juice. Take these rechargeable too. They'll last longer than the normal ones.
Wow, thank you. You guys really do have everything.
You need it, they get it. That's what they say.
Wow. So you're not a runner?
Me? Hell no, I'm just a tech. Personally, I think they're stupid as hell for going into the cities for this stuff, but hey, who am I to judge, you know? Everyone needs a purpose, I guess. And if that's what keeps them going, all the power to them.
And your purpose is tech?
Yeah, that's how I got the name. They'd dump out the hall and start sorting it. If they found any electronics, you know, phones, iPods, that sort of deal, they'd yell out tech, and I'd come and grab it. Pretty soon everyone stopped calling me Rhonda and just called me Tech.
Raton said that you fixed up the babies?
Yeah, you want to see one?
Sure. That's a baby? It looks more like a disco ball.
The zombies don't care what it looks like. It's the crying that brings them. At first they just throw out the dolls, but they get beaten up pretty quick. Now, speaker, remote control, and a nice round metal cage. Zombie runs up on it, kicks it, and chases it down the street. We haven't used the actual dolls in forever.
You made this?
Yeah. Back in the day, I worked for an electronics store. I was the kid who was always taking things apart to see how they worked. I had a PS4 before Sony finished the PS3. Now I make those things. Fix walkie-talkies, rig up lights, anything to keep us out of the Stone Age.
Well, that's pretty useful.
No, but for how much longer? Eventually all this stuff is going to stop working. When that happens, I'll have to go out there with them. I like the camp. Nothing bad happens here. But out there, they lose guys all the time.
And what about zombies?
Here? No way. We'd see them coming. And even if we didn't, we can just climb up on top of the camper and wait for the other guys to come back.
Well, thank you for all this stuff, Tech. I gotta say that you're a lifesaver, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, no problem. Good luck on your reporting. I hope you figure this whole mess out.
Look, do you mind if I keep the old recorder? It has all my stuff with Warzone on it.
No, keep it. I've got dozens.
Oh, well, thanks again.
Stay safe.
In Nashville, I came across a decked-out luxury camper. Oh, man. There was a guy driving it who was really trying to make the best out of a bad situation. He had been driving from town to town, looting every bank and jewelry store that he came across, and had amassed a hoard of riches large enough to put every pirate from history to shame. To this day, I have never seen that much cash or jewelry in one place.
Thanks again for the ride and, well, agreeing to do this.
So you think this is gonna make you famous?
Well, I'm not really looking for fame. I'm just trying to make a record of what happened for future generations.
Not me. I'm gonna be rich and famous. Just watch. I mean, I've already got the rich part down right.
There's no denying that. If you could please, well, just state your name and age for the record.
Oh, you bet. Hello, ladies. Slick Rick Jarvis here. You probably all know me by now, but this is how it all started.
And how old are you, Rick?
True blue and 32.
Right. If you could describe in your own words the vehicle that we're in.
This is just temporary. I couldn't fit everything in the Camaro anymore, so I had to expand. I call it the Bone Bus. What do you think?
Well, it's certainly...
Right. I mean, look at all of this stuff. Jewels, watches, necklaces. I've got it all. Do you know how much money I have back there?
How much?
Enough to drop every pair of panties from here to California. That's how much. Over $10 million. Seriously. And that's just the cash. I've got so much money that I had to stop taking anything smaller than a 50 because I ran out of room. You believe that? Do you know what else I got back there? A bed frame full of $100 bills. That's like $2 million in $100 bills, and I sleep on it. That's my bed, ladies.
Wow. Is it comfortable?
You bet your ass it is. $2 million comfortable, though I don't really sleep on it a whole lot. I usually use the cot next to it, but man, I've got me a $2 million bed.
So you've been driving from town to town, robbing banks and jewelry stores.
Whoa. I'm not robbing anything or anyone. Those places were abandoned. I'm not some low-life bandit, man. I'm just picking up what other people left behind.
But you are focusing on banks and jewelry stores.
Well, yeah. What is it that one guy said? Because that's where they keep the money. And let me tell you, there's a lot to be had. See, that's how you know that it got real bad real quick. No looting. When things go bad, people always start looting, stealing, yet fire. Some guys running away with a TV, a flood, and they're kicking in the door of the liquor store. This is different. No one really took, well, anything. It just ran. Most of these places weren't even locked up. Can you imagine that? All this gold and money and jewelry just sitting there going to waste.
Well, there really isn't a huge need for money right now. No real use for it.
Oh, that's your mistake right there. You're just like everybody else thinking in the now. Old Rick's thinking of the future. You're telling me that the government isn't going to fix this, that the army isn't going to show up, and eventually everything goes back to the way it was. They probably created this whole thing just to thin the herd. Money might not be worth anything now, but when this is all fixed, I'm going to be rich and famous.
So you think that all of this is just temporary?
Probably. I mean, even if it isn't, I know plenty of people who still want gold and jewelry. Move your leg.
Oh, okay.
No, I just got to get in the glove box and, there it is. See this? Here? Take it.
It's a necklace.
A diamond necklace. Look at the price tag. Seriously, look. Wow. $18,000. You're holding $18,000 in your hand right there. And you know what? I met this asshat back in Nashville, real hoarder type. He had all these guns and all this food. So I
tried trading for some. Do you know what he wanted to give me for this mug? A sandwich. A goddamn sandwich. $18,000 of gold and jewels, and this guy thinks I'm gonna trade it for a PBJ? I mean, where the hell are people's priorities, man?
Do you want this back in the glove box?
Hey, Ricky. How you going, man?
You know what? You hold on to it. Call it a gift. I got 100 of them. This way you have something to show people
Check
once
the
it's all
description,
over,
dude.
you know? So
The
that
audio
they,
you're hearing is coming
they can-
purely from Little Wolf. And
Thank
it's
you.
awesome.
No problem, man. No problem at all. Hey, you wouldn't happen to have any food in that bag, would you?
I rode with Rick for a few more hours, but the remainder of the conversation turned to sex. And all of the things that he was going to do when this world was fixed. I traded him the last of my protein bars for a real gold Rolex. Not because I wanted it, but because I felt kind of bad. Ironically enough, I ended up trading it for a sandwich.
No, I'm not doing
a couple
too
of
bad,
days
man.
later. And to be honest, it was absolutely worth
Been
it.
pretty much gaming all day. Got some dulcet audio
So if you're
from
still listening,
our resident
congratulations.
Little Wolf.
You now know as much about all of this as I do.
So
And like I
hearing
said in the beginning,
background.
I've tried my best to share the facts as I found them and to leave out any bias or blame, because none of that matters anymore. In fact, the only thing that matters, the only thing that matters is that we survive.
Now I'm just trying to keep my ass alive.
These weren't paid actors or well-crafted characters designed to influence any social, political viewpoints that no longer exist. They're real people who somehow beat the odds. They're new and they're real. So what's left is this world when the dust settles and all of these experts who were supposed to have made it didn't. Because in the end, survival comes down to only two things: natural instinct and blind, stupid, often unbelievable luck.
Proceed to the marked location and secure the
There
area.
are no other factors, so if you've lost someone, mourn them. Hold on to their memory with all of your heart and remember them with every single breath, every single day. But let go of any guilt. Let it go right now. It will only weigh you down, and eventually it will bring the same prejudice. Accept that there was nothing that you could have done, and that there wasn't a goddamn thing that you can do to save anyone out there, except yourself. Everyone has a plan until the horror starts. Do you know how many zombies I've seen wearing fully stocked backpacks? How many had weapons at their feet or still holstered around their waist? I've even come across one poor bastard moaning for a suit of medieval armor. He was just laying on his back, rocking back and forth like some sort of giant undead turtle. You're only here because you made a saving throw that most of the world failed to make. And if you allow yourself to obsess over the ghosts of your own guilt, it will pull you screaming into the grave. Now that being said, this message will be set to repeat every 6 hours, so if this is your first time hearing it, or more likely our first time attempting to share it, we encourage you to check back in with us, just once in a while. We're hoping to occasionally update this broadcast with any new information that we can find, or maybe even with a few more tales of survival and hope. If this isn't your first time, we thank you for listening to us again, and we understand that sometimes just hearing another human's voice when things are this bad.
Does anyone need this?
If you check back and there is only
Got gas moving in.
if we are gone, either from this location or this world, you need to remember you are not alone. You found me, if only briefly, and you will find others, no matter how dark, bleak, or lonely it gets out there. You have to remember and take solace in that one simple fact. You are not alone.
Yep, sure.
So with that in mind, goodbye and good luck. I know that you'll make it. This is WB signing off for now.
Pops. I hope you got another one. I see people in the chat. Hold on. I can't talk at the moment. There's a fucking car right behind me. Yep, they see me. And they got me. Bastards.
Fight to her redeployment.
No, I want to fight. Who said I like fighting? Then again, I'm playing this game.
Practice your aim while you wait. Taunting your enemy is an effective
No, I
way
can't.
to
I'm
get
out of
inside their
props.
heads. So is a well-placed stone.
Hey.
Up next, mate. Get ready.
Oh, jeez. She's probably led. Don't rocks at me.
You return to the front line.
Okay,
You
rocks over
lose,
here.
you're done
Okay,
here.
fine. Fuck you guys. Ah! Running. Hiding. Not happening. I'll see you, punk. Damn it, and I'm down. Hey, Micro, how you going?
Fought hard out there. Return to Does anyone need this?
I'm not sure if I am still around. He is at work. There we go. Christ, little wolf. That's got a bit of volume to it. No, I'm not using that gun, never mind. Alright, we're gonna go do the Riley thing. So I'm gonna have to do this. And yeah, I'm sure when Fohammer gets off work, he's going to come and own my ass on whatever kind of game we're playing at the time. Jesus Christ, this audio from Little Wolf is so loud. There we go, turn that down. There we go. That's it. Better?
They ought to make the day the time changes the first day of summer.
I'd write that in there.
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugs you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
I want to blow Sunday on a scene like this. You know, I figure we're either going to have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, so that she can.
You don't pay me anyway, Ricky. Well, if you do, I haven't got the payment yet.
We still remember.
I expect it to be here and without pants on.
What the man looks like.
Johnny, it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200
And
miles.
also I can,
And she stays home.
hold on, quickly do
Here,
this.
John, all right?
I hope I'm really good at being quick.
Hey, Jim.
We're coming back on the air after an interruption due to technical problems.
That one.
There's nothing wrong with the radio. Must have been the station.
Which row is it in?
Well, there's no one around.
You've gotten up earlier.
Oh, look, I already lost an hour's sleep when the time changed.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. There it is.
I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. Come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish can clean this up. Sell it next year. Wonder how many times we bought the same one. Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh? Hey, I mean praying for church, huh? Come on.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well, not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind a tree, and Grandpa got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you'll be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there. Well, you used to really be scared.
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny.
Alright, if any of you guys want talking about Ricky, you're the only one in the chat. That and I think maybe Fohammer. Or Little Wolf. No? Wait. Holy shit, there's 5. Impressive. Yeah, Ricky, I'm gonna go do that after I do this round. So that's when my break's actually gonna be probably a little bit longer. I'm not having a cigarette, I'm just gonna go set some trees on fire. Yeah, I've seen that. 5 people, I know. Oh my god, there's like 3-4 computer players in this game and the rest are on Xbox and PC. Xbox, PC and PlayStation, and they're using controllers because of the aimbot. That is unfair. Yeah, I'm only gonna have like 3 or 4 cones, so I'll be completely fucked after that. I should be requesting Little Wolf to play something better. Yeah, I'll do that too. I got a hidey hole. And it doesn't work.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Screw you, buddy. Screw you.
Alright, that's enough fucking about. Now we do this for real.
Alright. Oh, I nearly got 2 kills out of that. That's probably the most horriblest idea I've ever had.
Battle Royale. Be advised, gas is closing in. Proceed to the safe zone.
Put bear down, look towards direction, and jump. There we go. I see you guys over there. Alright, you're going down early. You two are still up. No, you're dropping. Go ahead and stadium. Cool. Other bloke disappeared. Alright, I'll mate. No worries. I'm gonna do my thing. Oh, you're still down. I see you down there. Yeah, alright. I see where you went.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Yep, fuck you. That sucked. Shit. The fuck? That was cheating. Completely 100% cheating. Should have reported that player.
Fight to earn redeployment.
Who does that? What a wanker.
You can practice your aim while you wait. Taunting your enemy is an effective
I'll practice
way to
your
get
aim.
inside their heads. So is a well-placed start.
Dead.
We got a proper fight here. Get ready to fight. You're next.
Good. Bad time. What took so long? Oh my god, Alien X Gaming is awake. Are you coming in, dude, or what? Come on. Yeah, no, you're not that good, mate. Fuck you. Oh, you are. Alright, cool. Maybe you are. I'll give you a little bit of credit. One bullet to fucking end me. One bullet to rule them all. Alright, I'm leaving game because this motherfucker in the chat needs to get in here and help. Boom, 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 boom. I'm about to go out there. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, like I just said, Ricky. Alright. I'm going to have some cones and a cigarette and grab a beer.
Do you live here?
Alien, get your fucking ass in here. I just seen you wake up. You cannot be in my chat without being in my game. Get that weird grey alien ass in here. Alright, now do this. Ooh, wait. I gotta change this over now.
Maybe we better take some food. I'll see if I can find some food.
Ah, there we go. Alright. Alright, guys, seriously, I'm going to have them cones now. Well, Ricky, yeah, I'm watching. Oh no, there's 5. I forgot. Sorry, my bad. Enjoy Little Wolf's audio. I'll go have some Steve needs to get stone time. Alien. I'm gonna keep calling you out, bro. Get the fuck in here. Oh, okay, yeah, no, sorry, my bad. You're at work. Yeah. That's right, because you live on that weird part of the planet where you think you're apparently the right way up, but you're not really. Because down here is the right way up. Now saying that, I better change the title of that. Alright. Demodding Alien X, and everyone can pick on him now. No, not really. I'm not sure if there's a guy coming on stream or what, but yeah. It's coming from the roof. Oh, there we go. That's way better.
We're in here now. Don't look at it. More lights on in this house. Why don't you see if you can find some wood, some boards, something there by the fireplace, something we can nail this place up. Look, God, look, I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But we have to try to board the house up together. Now, I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. You understand? We'll be all right here. We'll be all right here until someone comes to rescue us. But we'll have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand? Okay? Okay? we can run in here and board up the doors. Won't be long before those things be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now. They're afraid of fire. I found that out. You know a place back down the road called Beekman's Diner? Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have out there. There's a radio in the truck. I jumped in to listen to it when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail. I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never stopped moving. By now it's like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Still his man, screaming. The thing was just backing away from it. I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. There wasn't a sign of life left except by now there were no more screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things, just standing there, staring at me. I started to drive. I just plowed right through them. They didn't move. They didn't run or just stood there, staring at me. Just wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
We were riding in the cemetery, Johnny and me. Johnny. We came to put a wreath on my father's grave. Johnny. And he said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any. And, oh, it's hot in here. Hot. And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said, "I'm not afraid, Johnny." And then this man started walking up the road. He came slowly, and Johnny kept teasing me and saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And I laughed at him and said, "Johnny, stop it." And then Johnny ran away. And I went up to this man, and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up and I said, Goody. And he grabbed me. He grabbed me and he ripped at me. He held me and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Oh, I screamed, Johnny! Johnny, help me! Oh, help me! And he wouldn't let me go. He ripped. And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran. And Johnny didn't come. We had to wait for Johnny. We better go out and get him. We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please! We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me! Please!
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
Your brother is dead.
No! My brother is not dead!
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins. The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no apparent pattern or reason for the slaying. It seems to be a sudden, general explosion of mass homicide. We have some descriptions of the assassins. Eyewitnesses say they are ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind of trance. Others describe them as being guard yourself against. Misshapen monsters. Reaction of law enforcement officials is one of complete bewilderment at this hour. So far, we have been unable to determine that any kind of organized investigation is yet underway. Police, sheriff's deputies, and emergency ambulances are literally deluged with calls for help. The scene can best be described as mayhem. Mayors of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Miami, along with the governors of several eastern and midwestern states, have indicated the National Guard may be mobilized at any moment, but that has not happened as yet. The only advice our reporters have been able to get from official sources is for private citizens to stay in their homes behind locked doors. Do not venture outside for any reason until the nature of this crisis has been determined and until we can advise what course of action to take. Keep listening to radio and TV for any special instructions as this crisis develops further. Thousands of office and factory workers are being urged to stay at their places of employment, not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to visit their families or apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat, the safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you are. also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C., now tells us that the emergency presidential conference, which we've just mentioned, will include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. The extent of this latest meeting was that members of its cabinet, the FBI, Joint Chiefs of Staff, and scientists from NASA went in the hours. All radio and TV stations have joined their facilities in an emergency network to bring you this news as it develops. We urge you to stay tuned to radio and TV and to stay indoors at all costs. Late reports reaching this newsroom tell of frightened people seeking refuge in churches, schools, and government buildings, demanding shelter and protection from the wholesale murder which apparently is engulfing much of the nation.
No, how have you guys not seen Chappie? Like, even I've seen it. That's just a wow. Oops. What I meant to do. That's better. Okay.
Eastern portion of Texas. Similar killings have been reported around the Houston and Galveston areas, but nothing like...
I found a gun and some bullets out there. These. This place is boarded up pretty solid now. Be all right for a while. We have a gun, bullets, food, and radio.
No, I like Ricky's reply there.
Bound to come and get us out.
Too busy being blackout drunk. That's a thing. Trust me, I know.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Just ask me, I'll tell you.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me, but I'm going upstairs now.
Short Circuit was a great movie, by the way. Yes, Peck, you are right.
Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later. But you'll be all right for now, okay?
Peck, you should go message Little Wolf and tell him to play that. I guarantee he's probably got the audio version of it. Maybe. Probably. Alright. Let's get back to this.
Reports from witnesses to the effect that people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims prompted authorities to...
Yeah, I like the sequel as well, but like, I remember being a kid watching it, and it made me so sad when he got ripped apart. But then again, I also watched RoboCop at a very young age, and that was a bit horrifying. Like the first actual horror movie that scared me was The Fly. The second one was The Blob. I think I was about 5 years old when I seen them. You guys have really got to get into Jail Warren's Week in Horror with Eugene and Birdman. Fuck. Also, with Chappie, you have Diane Antwood in the movie, and that is a group I really do like. So they do some very obscure music. And if you've ever heard me play I Think You're Freaky, that's not I think, it's I think with an F. F-I-N-K. You're freaky. And I like you a lot. That is one of their songs. They have got some really good music.
We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, why don't we settle this, mister? We came out. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those things find out we're in here. You got the whole place moved up?
Yeah. So, Ricky, yes, koalas do carry chlamydia. They're a bunch of dirty little motherfuckers and you don't... Oh, Jesus Christ, why am I being shot at already? And I'm dead. Oh my God, it's not even a practice round. Yeah, koalas do carry chlamydia and it's not a cool thing. Like where I live, I've literally got koalas living here, where I am. And they're just like, hey buddy, give me a hug. And I'm just like, nah, you keep your fucking dirty ass disease to yourself, bitch. So yeah, nah, screw those guys.
Playtime's over, mate. You're going to those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling.
Alright, sorry, I'm gonna have to ignore the chat for a minute. No, what? Really? Give me a horrible map.
Battle Royale. Gas is approaching your position. Move to the safe zone.
Screw this safe zone. Got a truck over it.
Does anyone use this? Does anyone use this?
Nah, look at everyone go. Ding. Sorry. I was actually looking at the chat, my bad. Peck, if you were talking about a thing, then yeah, that creeped the fuck out of me as well when I was a kid.
Alright lads, let's get it done.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You don't have long.
At least up here you have a fighting chance. A lot out back too.
Oh, kitty. Let's see. Yeah, right. The fuck? Better.
You gotta fix these boards.
You're crazy. Those things are going to be at every liquor store in this place.
Contract failed.
We've got to get down
Time's
into
up.
the cellar.
Go down in here, damn.
Good.
Get out of here.
I'm taking this girl with me.
Keep your hands off it. And everything else is up here, too. Because if I stay up here, I'm fighting for everything up here. And the radio and the food is part of what I'm fighting for. Now, you're going down the cellar next.
He's insane. We've got to have food down there. We've got a right.
This is your house.
We've got a right.
You go on down there with him. Well, yes or no, this is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
Listen,
Hold that audience, whatever.
Losing ground.
I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly make all the racket, those things smashing through the window.
Well, you're the father. You're stupid enough to go. I am not.
Nah.
It is tough for the kid that old man is so stupid. Now, get the hell down in the
Enemy UAV overhead.
Be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
Bastards. You know, I won't open this door again. I mean it. Mr. Cooper, with your help, we can... With my help?
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Judy, come on up here.
Fuck that guy.
I want to get her too, huh? It's all right.
Someone kicked it over
Together,
there.
man. We can fix it up real good. There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper, we'd all be a lot better off. All three of us were working together.
Hey. Hey, kid. He's wrong, you know. I'm not boxing myself in down there. Well, we're safe now. Boarded up tight.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there and let them.
There are two other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
Who hears you screaming?
Yeah, but I
Enemy
didn't know who
UAV
they were. I
overhead.
wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, then.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is. It feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket up to her shoe.
Stay upstairs. Come on. Stand up. We'll see. We'll see. When they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that? radio upstairs. I heard a news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did it say?
Nothing. Nothing. They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us to tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon? We may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything.
Does anyone need
People
this?
aren't our enemies.
Loadout drop headed your way.
Let's go up. Tom? If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Look, honey, nothing's going to get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me. Okay, open up.
I'll take good care of her, Helen. She's all I have. Why don't you go upstairs now?
Her brother was killed.
Hey, give me a hand with this thing.
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
Gas is closing in. Objective is to eliminate the bounty target.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here. Give me one of those.
Her brother was terrible.
God damn it.
I can't see a damn thing. There could be 15 million of those things.
Fight to earn redeployment.
That's how much good these windows are.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Win here and you return to the front line. You lose, your fight is over.
Grab a couple of those chairs. There's a sock
You're up,
here.
soldier. Now go sort this fucker out. Looking a little worse from
Oh,
there.
for fuck's
You're
sake.
heading back to base. Play this and proper teacher.
If you stay up here, you take orders from me, and that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on, it's on. Right where the rest here.
Shit.
Incredible as they seem, are not mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this?
Shut up.
In all parts of the country. A wave of murder which is sweeping the demonic creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. Medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured. I think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure from the report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died...
Yeah, Candyman and Charles Play. Not really ones that got me. I watched them when I was a touch older. But also great movies.
Back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact. When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed. We're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station nearest you and make your way to that location as soon as possible.
So we have that truck. If we can get some gas, we can get out of here.
There's a pump out by the shed.
I know, that's why I pulled in here, but it's locked.
Emergency meeting called this afternoon by the President. Since convening this conference of the Presidential Cabinet, the FBI, Joint Chiefs...
Yeah, I think I was about 4 or 5 when I first seen The Fly.
Being consulted about an earthbound emergency.
I'm an 84 baby, so yeah.
Betting on the answer to that question centers on the recent Explorer satellite shot to Venus.
Freddy Krueger, any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, they completely intrigued me.
That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus.
I absolutely love the idea of that.
By NASA, when scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation.
Also gave me a hell of a lot of nightmares as a young kid.
Somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering. Newsman Don Quinn in Washington has posed those
Oh my god, no. There were so many good movies back in the 80s and 90s. Good horror movies. And for some weird reason I thought of one that's not even a horror movie. But it was a great movie. Yeah. Kinda. It was a straight to VHS kind of thing. The Toxic Avenger, if anyone remembers. That was cool. I loved it. I like that on the same level as I like the old RoboCop movie. Not that new one. That new one's just, don't even want to talk about that.
Everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting. Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between definite connection as far as Dr. Keller and myself. Doctor, please. I thought we decided that is not proved yet. Was the satellite, when the satellite was exploded, unusual amount of radiation caused mutation under certain circumstances? Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
A few more PC players in this one. I should switch to just PC.
Yes.
The only reason I don't is because of cheaters.
There will be a report this afternoon. Perhaps there will be a report later.
We are everything possible.
No, we have to try to get out of here.
He said the rescue stations have doctors and medical supplies. If we could get care in there, we could get help for her.
Oh, it's one of the world's foremost authorities on space science and technology.
Willard. I saw a sign that said Willard.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
Get yourself sorted. We'll be deployed shortly.
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming. Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. We knew the open house. Then these other people down the station put a bar across the way. I mean, it's pretty strong. How do we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman out of her head, 3 men, and a police.
Dr. Grimes, your entire staff has been working very hard to find
Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
I don't know how the fuck I got an assist on that one. That was awesome. It's not going to be easy. There.
Battle Royale. Did she ask for me?
You've got gas closing in fast. Get to the safe zone.
I don't understand. Mom? Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
How long after death then does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any arrangements.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. Bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them with gasoline and burn them.
How much knew before I jumped down, buddy?
Dubious comforts that a funeral service will give. They're just dead flesh and dangerous.
You got need to find some bed spreads or sheets and tear up into small strips, okay? Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles or jars. Make Molotov cocktails. Pull them off while we try to escape.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down there.
I'll see what I can find.
I'll look for the bottles.
There's a big key ring down there. Or maybe a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
We can toss some cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave the door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right. Better be this door. It's closer to the truck. Before we go, we'll put some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump out back.
I'm not really that used to the truck. I found it abandoned.
I can handle the truck, no
Targets
sweat.
are up. Get to work. Supply box ready to pick up.
Here, you and I'll go. We'll put whatever lumber we find behind the cellar door. You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from the window. Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door. After you toss the cocktails, you hustle back down here and lock this door. It's no good to board it up because we'll have to get back in quickly. After we get the gas and get back into the house, then we'll worry about getting everybody into the truck. Now let's move it.
Objectives updated. Move to the next location. Many more such rescue stations.
You always have a smile for me. How can you smile like that all the time? How many do you have done? Come on, honey, we gotta move.
Tom, were you sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded message.
Objectives updated. Move to the next location.
Nobody's too worried about us.
Everything will be all right. As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
I know. Tom, are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What, about getting out of here?
Yeah.
Well, the television said that's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on, honey, you're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper now.
Why do you have to go?
Gas is moving.
Look, I know how to handle that truck, and I can handle the pump. Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
But we're safe in here.
For how long, honey? We're safe now. But there's going to be more and more of those things.
I know all that.
Listen. Remember how difficult it was for us to convince you that it was right to leave. Remember we had to go to Willard then? This isn't a passing thing, honey. It's not like just a wind passing through. We've got to do something, and fast.
I just don't want you to go. That's all.
Hey, smile for me. Boy, you're sure no use at all, are you? We got work to do. And you...
Alright. I've done good, not found the door. I've done well.
We better get her downstairs.
We have to go downstairs now, Barbara.
She's right. You have to go downstairs now, just for a little while, until we get back. Then we can all leave.
Oh, like to leave. Yes.
Good luck.
Abort the contract. We lost the objective. Bounty target has been marked. Kill him.
You ready upstairs? What? Okay, faster!
An enemy team is hunting you. Stay alert.
And nothing. Yep.
If you survive, you earn your freedom.
Where's you coming? Come on! Get here!
Oh my god, he's dead. No, there's no guy there. Ah, fuck it.
Got proper fight here. Get ready to fight. You're next. Win here and you return to the front line. Lose, your fight is over. Sort 'em out.
God damn it.
Sending you back to base. Hit us hard that time and we'll settle the score.
Okie dokie.
Come on! This key won't work. Watch it.
Electric vehicle, oh, there it is. And yes, there is a direct correlation. I mean correlation. Where's a hut?
Drag you out there and beat you those things.
Alright guys, I'm gonna call this as my last one. That's alright, Ricky. I don't spell well at the best of times. Oh my god, anybody would think made a Dark Lights playing. My ping's up to 100 megasiemens already. Mind you, I'm cracking over 150 frames a second, or 120 now. GPU time, 6 milliseconds, CPU time, 8 milliseconds. Oh, 200 megasiemens now. Well, this isn't going to work. I'll give it another 30 seconds. If it works, it will just probably be crappy. Yep, there we go. Console players.
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait.
But I'll still get killed.
We can leave. Well, we better leave soon.
Because I never seem to use my good machine guns. Like my assault rifles or SMGs. I always use my
You know
sniper.
anything about this area at all? I mean, is Willie the nearest town?
I don't know. We were just trying to get to a motel before dark.
You say those things turned your car over. You think we can get it back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Practice while you can. We're deploying soon.
Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the key.
What's wrong with us?
One of those things grabbed her.
Put her on the arm.
What's that?
Those kind of disease those things carry.
Oh well, fuck you too. I like you until I landed.
Well, one of us is trying to get to the car. You're gonna turn it over by yourself? Where? Where is it? Yeah, I know. But where is it?
Oh, fuck you, weird Asian named guy.
You're done warming up. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
No shit. Alright, time to get another bullet in my ass. Definitely gonna jump out the car. That's probably the best idea right now.
At this hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation. Does anyone need this? Government spokesman Battle Royale. That dead bodies gas is closing on your position. Suggest you get moving. All persons who
Don't tell me what to do, Dad.
whatever cause, come back to life if you seek human victims unless their bodies are first disposed of by cremation. Our news cameras just
Look at that. Sleepy time's just kicking in.
All law enforcement agencies and the military have been organized to search out and destroy the marauding ghouls. Survival Command Center at the Pentagon disclosed that a ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull. Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul had been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
Oh, yeah? I see you dropping that.
No, we're all right. Hey, Cass, put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want to get up again.
Chief McClellan, how's everything going?
Oh, things aren't going too bad. Men are taking it pretty good. We gotta get on the other side of the road over there. Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to cause a range of abandoned shit. We must have thought somebody was in there. There was no. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over, beat them off, blasted them down. Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't,
Damn it.
shoot them or burn them. And they go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think
Oh, very good gun.
situation under control?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them
That is unfair.
Time for a bit of argy-bargy.
You fight that angry
Practice
one.
your aim while you wait. Taunting your enemy is an effective way to get inside their heads. So is a well-placed stop.
Well, we don't really know. We know we'll be into it most of the night, probably into the early morning. We're working our way toward Wilford, and we'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite view.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan.
fight here.
TV 11 News.
Get ready to fight. You're next.
Report. Official spokesman declined to speculate just how long it may take to kill off flesh eaters, as long as the heavy rain.
Review spot in the cellar.
Listen up, soldier. Win here and you return to the front line. But if you lose, you're done. Sort them out or capture the objective.
Helen, I have to get that gun. Haven't you had enough? Out of that guy.
No worse for wear.
God
You're
damn
heading
it.
back to hard that time, but we'll settle the score. Moving.
Shane! Hey, hey! Yeah, Ricky, that would suck us. God, alright, I gotta go sort this fucking battle pass out. I gotta work out how to get it. No. And there's all this as well. Like, wow. Nothing for the weaponry. Okay. So, guys, gonna knock it off now. If you want, I can leave it until the end of Little Wolf's audio. If if you're listening. But if not, I'll just end it here. Doesn't faze me. But by the way, also, make sure, if you're not already over there, and I'm going to keep saying this, go and check out Little Wolf's Den on the Discord. Links in the description. And go check out his YouTube. Link is also in the description. Blah 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 blah. Words are hard. Also, you have to go probably subscribe to that Skydiver Tanner guy. He's kind of amusing. And then the new one that's up and coming that you all need to look out for is Furhammer. So, when he gets that channel up and going, trust me, we'll be shelling that out like you would not believe. Like all of the swordsmen will be doing it. Other people will be doing it. I guarantee Alien will even help us out. He'll come to it. I'm starting to lose my I'm starting to lose my voice, guys. And I need some sleepy times. So I will catch you all on the flip side in a few hours. Thank you all for coming. And be good to everyone. Night all, good morning all, good day all, wherever you're from. Have a good one. Bye.